Well, hello, sugar. It's old May, your grandma from Texas.
Texas,
You remember
Texas
me?
grandma?
Texas
I
grandma?
do.
Yeah, you remember me, you son of a bitch? That's right. You thought you could just impregnate me and leave town? Yeah, that's what I thought you thought, but go fuck yourself. I'm back. That's right. May is back, bitch, and today we're talking about the Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
And I'm pregnant.
Okay.
Sorry. I don't know what's come over me. It's the pregnancy. All right. So, hi, everybody, and welcome to Here Take This Excrement. This is the podcast where we talk shit.
Yeah.
Hey? Huh?
Huh?
It's a slogan. I'm thinking about putting it on a shirt. So, we are a podcast about film, and not specifically just film, but we alternate, I guess, between doing high art and garbage.
Yeah.
So today, what the fuck is this? We're doing the Devil's Rejects.
We're doing the Devil's
And
Rejects.
I guess the opening question, which
before
we start,
yeah.
but I want the opening question hanging in the air. I want everybody to be thinking about it as we go into the little break. I want it to be in the back of everybody's mind. Is the Devil's Rejects high art or trash? Which one?
All right. And while you're cooking on that,
Yeah. Put that one on the back burner and let that simmer. Let's move on.
We like to thank our sponsors, Machine Age Productions and the RPG iHunt, or hashtag iHunt, I'm sorry, Ambient Dream Studio and their Etsy shop, and the YouTube show Blood Thing. More on all of those later on in the show. And we also like to thank all of our patrons at patreon.com/excrement.
Now it's time to talk about what?
The Devil's Rejects.
And what the fuck is that,
So
Neo?
it's the sequel to House of a Thousand Corpses. It's a decided not genre change, I guess tone change. I guess maybe it is kind of a genre change.
I mean, what the fuck happened? Like,
Okay.
it's a very legitimate question of how did this happen?
I don't know.
What
but
even happened?
I can tell you what happens in the movie. What happens in the movie is it starts with the cops raiding the murder house from House of a Thousand Corpses.
Mm-hmm.
They have a, I can't remember the outlaw's name, but there's this Australian outlaw who like run around and steal armor. So they put on this shitty steel armor that they like made with a hammer. Have this like extensive gunfight with the cops. The Tiny goes to ground. Mama gets captured by the cops, and Otis and Baby escape. And call Captain. I'm gonna fuck this up again, but Captain Spankle. Did I fuck it up again? Spaulding. I don't know why Spankle stuck in my head. I still think that Spankle is a great clown name. No, but they call to their dad, Captain Spaulding, which they reveal in this movie that Spaulding is their dad because they didn't in House of a Thousand Corpses.
Well, okay, there's a lot of things. Like, they also reveal that all of their names are code names that come from Marx Brothers movies, which is another fucking weird thing that Rob had to do. So, I mean, I think that Rob's proclivities have a tendency to pop on out in this one. So this one's weird because it's like very transparent and vulnerable for him, but it's also very rigid and protected for him. But continue.
Yeah, so Otis and Baby go. They kill some people because they're serial killers.
Yes.
They do a whole fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 bit where they like cut someone's face off and put it on someone else.
Yes.
There's some rape in there.
Mm-hmm. Lots of that with a gun.
Yeah. Then they meet up with the clown,
Captain Spaulding.
And then they go on a road trip.
Yes.
And it's like a lackadaisical, like, we're on a road trip.
Like Easy Rider. It becomes like a road movie, pretty much like a 70s road movie.
Yeah. And while this is all happening, the cops are torturing Mama. And it turns out the lead cop is his brother was one of the cops they killed in House of a Thousand Corpses.
And he wants revenge.
And he wants revenge, and he wants to be the righteous hand of God. So he guts Mama with a knife and goes on a Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2-esque hunt for vengeance.
Yes.
And it culminates with him kidnapping the family, torturing them, but they end up like getting free and they kill him.
Yes.
And then they're driving off into the sunset where they meet a police blockade. So they're all like wounded and fucked up and hurt, and they all get ready for one last like charge of glory, and they charge this like police barricade and get gunned down.
Yes.
And that's
correct.
That's how the movie ends.
Yeah. So, first off, a real tearjerker.
Yeah.
Keep your rag handy, because this one's gonna make you cry all over your pants if you're not careful. Did you like this?
Well, so
where are you at with Mr. Zombie at this point?
Well, so I think that to answer the question that's been hanging in everyone's mind, I do think this movie is bad. I don't think this is high art.
Wow. Fuck.
But that
Do you think that Rob Zombie likes Texas Chainsaw Massacre too?
Yes.
How can you tell?
Because this movie
he constantly references it nonstop for the entirety of the film.
This movie is almost a parody of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Which is funny because it's almost a parody. But so, have you ever watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and you were like, God damn, I wish that we could root for the cannibal family in this particular scene.
And see, here's the thing, is I don't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
It's a hot take sitting next to me.
I know.
We'll talk about it.
But I do like The Devil's Rejects.
So you like it?
I do.
What the fuck? Well, I thought we were talking shit. And then you come around, you like it? The fuck?
Well, okay.
My dude.
See, because remember the hypothetical movie that I wanted to happen?
Oh yeah, where Captain Spaulding avenged the kids.
Where it's like an anti-slasher, where it's like some slasher villain slashes the Texas Chainsaw Massacre family.
Yeah.
This is that. This is like the cop is the slasher. He's like relentlessly hunting them and being like a violent psychopath doing so. Mm-hmm. He brutally murders people with a knife to like find them. And when he finds them, he tapes them to chairs and tortures them like a fucking slasher. So, aren't they like a meat plant or something? Or like a pig farm or something?
It's hard to say what they do.
Well,
with that big old piece of land they got there.
Yeah, and
they kind of are they're a big torture farm, I suppose. Well, like in Texas Chainsaw Massacre too, right? There's the justification that they are a chili business. In this one, there's no fucking justification for that.
Well,
they're a murder house filled with necrophiles.
But
there is no justification. There's no covering it up by saying we also make chili.
Right, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the chili justification is stupid and is played as a bit.
Yes.
Like it's not, they're not actually trying to legitimately justify the operation.
Bitch literally finds a fingernail in her chili and he grabs it and goes, "It's a spicy peppercorn."
Yeah.
Like, yes, it's a bit.
Yeah. So, I think one of the problems that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 had was that they would do these bits, but they would just be kind of stupid and like I don't know. They just weren't good bits because the movie was made as a shitpost. But like making a movie as a shitpost to like undo your previous work, I don't know, it just kind of doesn't land right for me. But making a shitpost about a failed shitpost is excellent.
Okay.
Well,
there's so many layers to what you're currently saying.
Yeah, there is. There's so many layers. There's so many layers to both Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 and House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, where it's all a rat's nest. It's all a rat's nest of convoluted entanglement.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like, why is Captain Spaulding their dad? Well, Because it's more tangly. Get
Yeah.
all tangled up, friends.
Yeah, because he wants more Captain Spaulding in the movie, and that's the easiest way to get it. Why I like Rob Zombie is because instead of trying to be like, well, they're running a chili farm, he says,
Nah,
who
they don't do
fucking
anything.
cares? Like why the fuck do you care about why there's a murder factory? Why are you asking questions, idiot? Watch the movie. You know, and so it's like I'd rather somebody be tongue in cheek about not giving a shit about the details than somebody like just having stupid contrived bullshit tongue in cheek
for
about
their
the
details.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see.
Where it's like so it's like, you know, in like there's some sci-fi where they're like, fuck it happens. Like what? I was like, why are you thinking about it? You know. But then, and in like Star Wars and Star Trek, they're like, well, actually, the Boba Fett doesn't die because he uses his jetpack to shoot a rocket in the Sarlacc, and he flies out of the Sarlacc pit, and so in universe, it makes total sense why Boba Fett didn't die in the Sarlacc pit, And I just want to say on that tangent, Boba Fett is my favorite Star Wars character, and I love all the extended universe stuff.
I'm gonna beat the fucking shit out of you.
Boba Fett.
We're gonna go out in the parking lot the second this is done, and I'm gonna give you a swirly. I don't even know how outside, but I will do it.
Right,
like,
well,
you're a dork. This is nerdy.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? Continue.
Rob Zombie's fucking
Fett,
nerdy.
Listen, Boba Fett can eat my whole doo-doo because that show sucks balls, and I'm not going to hear anything about it.
You haven't even attempted to watch it.
He is a prop character.
You haven't even
watched dialogue.
You haven't even watched The Mandalorian.
He's not even a fucking character.
He has dialogue in The Mandalorian, May.
He's not even a character.
He has so much dialogue in Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, motherfucker, somebody decided.
Right. So what I'm saying is
but he didn't used to be. He's like that's like picking a Ouija board and making a whole movie about it. Oh fuck, they did do that shit.
So I'm pointing out the Thermian problem in Star Wars to point out that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 has as much Thermian bullshit as Star Wars does.
Oh, absolutely.
And Rob Zombie is like that is for absolute fucking cowards. I don't give a shit. It's there. Stop asking questions.
Yeah, let's just fucking move.
Like, just buckle up and let's keep going.
Right, well, then let's play along. Huh? How about we do that? How about we play along and move on from this particular topic to the next topic, which is what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? Like, he's made a movie that's very anti-cop, but in a way that mixes its metaphor in a way that I would call dangerous, but also, well, because, like, okay, so the ultimate thing is, like, the only thing worse than serial killers is state violence,
right.
Which is true. But understand that putting us in a position where it's like, well, ultimately, if you're coming up against state violence, I'm going to empathize with that serial killer. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, but so the thing is, and the reason why I think it's dangerous is because, like with a lot of horror movies, there's the, like, ultimately everyone in, like, the horror community and everyone empathizes and loves the villain. And so, like, and so it's just like everyone loves, Jason, but who gives a shit about the people he kills?
Yeah.
Everyone loves the mom from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but no one gives a shit about the people that they kill, right? And so the problem is and it's the same thing with, like, real life serial killers, where everyone talks about fucking Jeffrey Dahmer, no one knows the names of anyone he killed, right? Because we glorify the bad guys in these kind of stories, and I mean, I think, and that's just like because horror movies were made, or, like, not made, but like demonize these groups of people outside of the main culture. But people who like horror movies are these people outside of the main culture, so they they end up empathizing with the people who are kind of, like, supposed to be bastardizations of them, but end up, like, adopting it and stuff.
Sure.
And so I
actually have a shitload of thoughts about what you're saying.
Right. Well,
but continue.
And so,
Please continue.
but so the reason it's dangerous to now have the cop as the slasher, we're now you're putting the cop in the role of the person that ultimately you're supposed to empathize with as a horror fan, because you want to root for the slasher. So it's like
role reversal.
Right. And so it's like no, don't put a cop as the slasher that we're all secretly rooting for. Because when you watch a horror movie, when you watch a slasher movie, you want to see people get fucking slashed. Because
So your argument is that you think that the villain of this, the cop, is secretly being empathized with in a sort of deep down way, in the way that we would empathize with like a Michael Myers in a situation where there would be people be like, yeah, kill him in any situation. It doesn't matter what the violence is.
Yeah.
So they're saying the utility of that is actually an ironic endorsement of state violence.
Right. And I don't think Rob Zombie intended to do that.
No.
I think that's just an accidental byproduct.
I think you're absolutely right.
Of what he did.
But I'm willing to interrogate this choice. So there's a couple things actually about that. Number one is that there's really only ever two ways to approach any artistic choice. You can approach it as a cultural choice, or like you go, I'm going to accept the culture that I have grown up with my entire life, where I am mentally. I'm going to use this art as an opportunity to voice my cultural understanding. Or B is that you approach it as a rebellion of your upbringing, a rebellion of the culture, a rebellion of it. It's like there's only ever culture and counterculture, kind of. And I understand that there's like some nuance in there, and there's a lot of like, identifiable subgroups and shit like that. But ultimately, when it comes down to an artistic choice, if you're making a sequel, you can do one of two things. You can do it again, or you can rebel against it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there's this weird thing going on in horror. It starts in the 2000s, and now we're drowning in it, where it's this it's self-contemplative horror. It's not art horror. It's self-contemplative horror. It's aware of its own existence and is thinking about and commenting on and trying to extrapolate and understand its own place.
Mm-hmm.
So, I made this case with the newest Scream movie, where I was saying that the newest Scream movie was so fucking obsessed with Scream. Well, and I understand that, Scream is really obsessed with Scream, but the newest one is so overwhelmingly obsessed with Scream that you end up kind of in this place where you're like, Scream is not actually worth its weight in my understanding. We are, at this point, dragging out all of these minor little details about this aspect of this art to the point where it has no meaning. Its meaning has been completely destroyed. So I think...
Let the past die. Kill it if you have to.
Jesus Christ. So... you fucking nerd. So here... The Devil's Rejects, right? He's rejecting two things with this movie. He's accepting a lot of things, but he's rejecting the majority of them. He's rejecting 80s movies. Mm-hmm. This is important. And no one, write this down. This will be on the test. Class? All right. He is rejecting 80s movies. There's this move called the slow cinema movement is what, and that's not to say that Rob Zombie is a member of the slow cinema movement, but I'm saying that he is steps closer to the slow cinema movement than he is to the 80s. He has deep respect and love for 80s horror, clearly.
Right.
But he's rejecting and rebelling against the way that horror has been.
Right.
Which is to say, big, grand, overly lit, and so where House of a Thousand Corpses more was okay adopting a lot of those sort of proclivities, this one he's like, no, I will stand independent of those things, and I will forge my own path. It's a rebellion against that. So it's a rebellion twofold. It's a rebellion against 80s culture. This is meant to be kind of a countercultural attempt at this, while also it's a rebellion against his own ideas and his own self-image. So it ends up being a very humble attempt at doing something very egotistical, which is a sequel. He's willing to actually genuinely challenge himself and the state of things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's worth that's worth a lot of, I think, weight. But also the slow cinema part, I think, is another aspect of that's important. I think that he's the kind of filmmaker that has grit and is unafraid to, for lack of a better term, quote unquote, go there. He'll just take it there. He'll do the thing.
Right.
But while it's happening, I often feel this sense of like, this doesn't feel right for him. Like Eli Roth, when he's like doing some schlocky, shitty, rapey torture crap, I'm always like, yeah, this sounds about right.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the beginning of one aspect of Rob's like thing, which is that he starts to like rape a lot. Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
He starts to like rape a lot, and he starts to use rape a lot. Like in every movie, a lot, at every opportunity. Just like sexism, just like, homophobia and shit like that. He goes fucking ape shit.
Right.
As far as that stuff goes.
Well, it's like a shortcut for movies where if you want to have something bad happen to a woman character, and it's like, all right, well, we can actually think about like a character driven like event that happens, that's part of the story and pushes the story forward. Or, you can hit the big red rape button and then, all right, there we go. Trauma.
Well, so, okay.
It's like trauma in a can. Just shake it up and spray it.
You've not seen Rob Zombie's Halloween film from 2008 or 2006, one or the other. Anyway, Michael Myers, Rob Zombie remade Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So his bit with it was he wanted us to empathize with Michael Myers.
Mm-hmm.
I know that makes you scratch your head. But don't worry, it's bad also, the movie. So, like, you want to talk about a moment in a film where homeboy uses rape as a fucking, like...
Or like a narrative crutch.
There is a scene in the movie where they really, like, Rob really wants us to empathize with Michael and think that Michael is, like, a hero and, like, a good dude. Insane. So he has a woman being raped by some, like, orderlies, and then Michael kills the orderlies while they're raping the woman. And it's so... I don't need to say it, but wow. And I know that you're thinking that that's gotta be the end of that, but no. He does it in all the movies from now until the end. Like, I'm pretty sure he does that in all the movies. Now, and I understand rape is a horrific thing, and Rob loves horrific things and presenting them to me, but there's a friendliness to House of a Thousand Corpses that starts to die.
Yeah.
And it starts dying here. So while I love this movie, I think, Devil's Rejects, mostly because it's rejecting so much of its own steez to forge a new path, which is very admirable, even if it's literally the most stock of choices when there are really only the two stupid choices in any artistic endeavor. It's not to say that I'm going to praise him too much for rebelling against it, but I will praise him a bit for rebelling against that. The thing I strongly feel here starts to manifest is his lack of friendliness, or the friendliness starting to die. The friendliness is even in his music for a long time, and it also starts to wane. And I don't know if it's money or cynicism or studios shit or just life killing his dreams. I don't really know what happened to Rob, but it starts here. And there's like halfway through this movie, you're like, yes, I like that the movie is horrific. Yes, I want the movie to be a fucking nightmare. And I'm glad that it is. But also, how many rape scenes do we need to do?
Right.
And
it's like, it's like we've already established that Otis is a rat bastard, right? We didn't need the rape scene to know Otis was a creepy rat bastard.
Well, yeah,
Like,
and it makes you genuinely wonder, like, what is trying to be accomplished.
Like
with that,
it's like
right?
it's like the utility of the rape is to show that Otis is a dirty, rapey rat bastard.
right.
But he already was a dirty, rapey rat bastard, and you didn't need to communicate that through actual on-screen rape.
Right. Well,
Like it's like he'd already communicated that. I don't know. It just felt like it's like rape for rape's sake, and that's not ideal.
irreversibly, this is not. So, like, Rob, this is why I go, is this high art or trash? High art is the slow cinema rejection thing, that aspect. Where he goes, no, this will be different. That, I think, is high art. But his predilection to just use the basest of base level things. Cindy, why are you in my CD boxes?
Our cat is just
Is
woke
fucking
up and
going
shows
crazy
just
today.
absolute violence today.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't mind, I guess.
No, it's
It's fine, Cindy.
fine.
Anyway, his proclivity to do like really stupid, like cheap moves, to kind of like overcome some of the difficulties of making rebellious choices.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, it's difficult to make a good movie guilt-free. I think that's a weird thing to say, but it's true. And the reasoning is because if you want to make the thing that you want to make the best thing you can ever make, you usually have to make those rebellious choices ad infinitum pretty regularly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's unrewarding because everybody is going to look at your rebellious choices and be like, wow, this is stupid. Don't do this. This is not the status quo. So it's incredibly unrewarding, and it's a guilt-free experience, or it's not a guilt-free experience. So when Rob Zombie is making these movies and he's putting his like heart and soul into this rebellious shit, the stuff that he really wants to do, like the cop stuff, he feels a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
He feels a genuine. So it's step one is I got an idea. Step two is, oh shit, I don't want to do this. And that's really funny. So like I think that a lot of these choices are based on him going, I want to do this. Oh shit, now I have to do this.
Right.
And so that's why so much rape, so much stuff like that, where it's like, you know, I think a lot of people would argue equal opportunity. Everybody's got to get it, you know, but no, that doesn't fucking happen.
Yeah.
Kiss my ass. There's so much fucking... No, I'm not going to hear it. Anyway, it's a 2000s movie. It's exactly what you think. It's like Pieces. It's exactly what you think.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So-
where are we at? Is it ad time? Jesus. Oh my God. Neo. Ad time.
That time.
Are you tired of shitting your own pants and then having to go to the post office anyway? Me too. Hi, I'm Maylees, inventor of the poopin' pants. They catch your shit when you're out in public, so nobody hurts you.
And you know what's not a shitty product?
I Hunt.
Hashtag
I
I
Hunt,
Hunt.
which is
It's a
made
great
by
product.
our friends Philomena and Olivia, I think.
Yeah.
It's an app, right, with the gig economy? Come
yeah,
on, with the
yeah,
hunting
yeah.
monsters.
Your
It's
community's
an
plagued
RPG.
by like Draculas and werewolves.
I hate it when
and
my community
vampires.
is plagued by Draculas.
So you get so you download an app to get some extra money, you know, and you go and you kill fucking Draculas.
I hate it
That's
when my
right.
fucking community
Dracula's
is
in
plagued
the class
by
of vampire
Frankensteins.
now.
There's too many fucking Frankensteins in my zone.
do declare. Yeah, it's an RPG. Wrangle up some friends.
Get some booze.
Bench
Get some...
bench press one to be a game master.
Yeah.
And go kill monsters using your app.
Speaking of killing monsters using your app, head on over to Etsy to kill that monstrous paint job your fucking dumbass landlord did. Just cover it up with a cool tapestry from this cool Etsy store that sponsors
it'll
us.
be in Dream Studios. I ordered I ordered something. It's coming in the mail. I'm really excited to put it up.
To cover up the landlord special.
Cover up.
The big
Listen,
dumb white
we're gonna-
paint that
we're gonna-
covers our whole dwelling.
We're gonna rant about landlords
Oh,
later.
we're
on
getting
the
in there.
podcast.
We're gonna
But yeah,
but
so they do psychedelic art. They have some clothes. It's all really cool. The link's down in the description. Go check it out. Go fix your landlord's shitty fucking mistakes.
yeah, and I hate that you have to be responsible for that. But like, look, the world isn't fair. Speaking of the world not being fair, check out Blood Thing, a channel that doesn't have enough subscribers, and that is not fucking fair.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm sorry I cursed in your advertisement. Blood Thing.
Yeah. Go watch it. It's good. It's animated. It's neat. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm running out of adjectives because I'm an idiot.
It's okay. Right now, Neo picked up, while we were doing this advertisement, Neo picked up a bottle of cleaner and started to, what looked like, unscrew it. Don't shoot me with it. I would really not like that. But no, he started to, what I thought was unscrew it. And I was like, damn, if he takes a gulp of that right now, I'm gonna cry. Like, I'm gonna laugh so hard. Anyway, you didn't do it, though.
I
you
didn't.
Absolute coward.
I was gonna take a gulp in honor of Blood Thing.
That's fair. Listen, patreon.com/excrement is the home, the hub, the zone. We're on Podbean, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes.
We should be on absolute everything.
Absolutely fucking everything. You should
The
be able to
internet
find
tells
our shit.
me so.
Yes. And now listen, I'm not the kind of hoe that makes the steez of listening to my own fucking shit. I don't smell my own farts. So I'm not going around to Spotify listening to my own podcast and making sure it's on there. So if it's not on there, you gotta fucking tell me, guys, because I'm not fucking looking. We're not
Well,
looking.
According to Podbean, we're on everything.
According to them.
Yeah.
Yes, but we're also on YouTube, and yeah, thank you all for being here. We're actually getting pretty strong. I think we have at least 30 patrons strong at this point. It's been a couple of months, a whole season.
Speaking
And
of patrons, go
go over and
go over to patreon.com/excrement
and shit in our hand.
Yeah, I would
carry it
gladly
all the way to the
collect
zoo.
all the shit you can dump on that Patreon.
Uh-huh.
Patreon.
Yeah, as we just love that green, that mean green. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what color, what it is, as long as it's green. I'll take it. All right, it's time for more discussion about Rob Zombie. Dig through the bitches and sail through the ditches and bam through the bitches and get through the bitches. Big booty bitches. Anyway, Robert Johnson is
Zob Romby.
he's the director of the film The Devil's Rejects, which is a movie that we are currently debating whether or not we're going to reject. Ha! Hey. You like that?
Yeah. Well, so I think this movie has a fundamental problem, and it's the same movie that.
Oh shit. Uh-oh, Rob.
That
diagnosis.
That a lot of movies I really like have, right? And so it has the war movie problem.
Exactly. I was going to talk about this.
Yeah, where you know, you can make the most
any demonstration of the scale of state violence is actually, even if criticizing it, an endorsement of state violence as it demonstrates the hand of power.
Yeah, so you can make the most scathing anti-war movie on the planet, and some bootlicking dumb motherfucker from Alabama is gonna watch it and be like, God bless America.
Well, but even deeper, it has the subtle and inherent psychological effect of making you look at war and go, wow, it's huge.
Wow.
I can't do anything about this because it's too big.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing about state violence. You know, it's like sometimes they'll show you a cop doing something wrong, but usually it's a pile of cops.
Yeah.
And usually you can't really reason with that. And you can't really, human beings don't really identify people in groups larger than 3. Like at that point, everybody's a they. So like the cops are like the figureheads of the antagonism at the end of the film, but we don't really get any like real understanding of the
well I would actually
issue there.
Well, see, like, so I think where I was going with the war movie analogy, I think the problem is when you look at this movie from a right wing bootlegging perspective, it's ultimately like if you're watching it from that perspective, it can be very easily interpreted as a glorification of cop vigilantism, right? And so it's like it's like something that a lot of like fascist bootlickers will like trumpet is it's like, oh well, we just need to it's like the laws aren't strict enough. We need to take things in our own hands.
We were watching just for a bit. Understand that we're cultural anthropologists. Neo and I, we're astronauts of the mind. So we turn on the television, and oftentimes the thing we turn on is the worst imaginable thing, but we have to understand. So with that, we were watching Blue Collar Comedy Tour yesterday, or this morning, I guess.
Yeah.
To understand it, to see what it was, and I am now harkened back to the moment where Ron White at the end of his stand-up special, his bit is he's been fine the whole time. Honestly, his jokes, some of them miss, some of them hit, but
unfortunately some of them are
very misogynistic, and a couple of them are kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, he's not the worst comic in comparison to the other ones. He is significantly better than the other comics.
He does the dumb bit where he has an alcoholic drink but never drinks it and just
uses
it
just
as a
like
fucking
nurses
prop.
it. So he ends his stand-up special because he wants to get a big laugh. He wants to get a big applause. He says to the dumb idiot people in the audience, in Texas, we have the death penalty and we use it, and everybody cheers.
Yeah.
That is kind of what's happening here.
Right.
Where it's like, yes, Rob is saying state violence, but, like, if you're kind of I don't want to say the audience, because I like to think that Rob Zombie's audience is fairly intellectual, but I do know a lot of white trash that love this. And the people that are white trash and love this are usually, like, the people that would definitely go to, like, the January 6th fucking, insurrection and would say, yeah, them goddamn cops. You know what I mean? So it's like the same thing that we keep always saying, which is you can hate things, but if you don't hate it the right way, it still sucks.
Well, and it's like, the right wingers and fascists will always talk about it's like law and order and how important law and order is. But then, all of these times where cops are wrongly murdering people in the streets, that's not law and order, right?
Right.
So they're breaking the law, and they're using excessive force, and they're going above and beyond. And you don't hear the law and order people say a goddamn thing, right? Because it's not about law and order; it's about retributive justice and the cops.
It's about the reinforcement of punishment.
It's right. And so in this movie, it's a cop who's ignoring the laws so that he can get this like right wing retributive justice.
Right.
And so it's like if you watch it from a bootlicking perspective, it's a glorification of cop vigilantism and like police brutality.
Yeah.
And it would be incredibly easy for stupid fucks to
interpret it as
only that.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal. That's not what you want to have in a movie.
Well, and I've been consistently told this exact thing my entire life, which is, well, if you're having these thoughts about the movie, the ones that we are currently talking about it, then clearly we have been led astray somewhere, and this is not what we're supposed to be thinking about with this film. I mean, the movie ends with the three main characters dying by gunfire to Freebird.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of like Confederacy shit, rebel shit in this.
Right.
Like, I think the one of them literally has like, I think Baby literally has like a Confederate patch on her ass, like the whole movie,
probably.
or something like that. And so it's like, what are they really saying? Well, I think they're kind of saying that when they're talking about the police, they're talking about like Northerners and us down south. We got our own. Where you going, city boy? This is where dog will hunt. We got our own kind of thing, and we don't need. So it's like anarchy, but it's like weird Confederate anarchy.
Yeah,
which is gross.
The very worst kind of anarchy.
Yeah, so it ends up mixing its messages a whole lot, and this is why I say
real quick. I just want to take a quick break. If any of our listeners, unironically support the Confederacy or like the Confederacy, go fuck yourself. All right, carry on.
I can't imagine any of them would.
I just want to make that very clear.
Yeah, well, it's understood.
As a Texan,
That is
fuck
a
the
problem for
Confederacy.
for us. Yeah. So
John Brown is my hero, and
man,
Sherman
the myth,
should
the
have
legend.
burned down more of the South.
yeah, all right. It would definitely save us from fucking spring break. Anyway, so I strongly believe that this movie is almost profound.
Almost.
And unfortunately, it really just walks to the door and then doesn't. I mean, one would say, and so this is why I say, people have told me my whole life, if you're thinking these thoughts about it, you're thinking too much. You're thinking the wrong way about it. It's not intended to be thought about like that. You need to be thinking about it in a different way. It's like change your thought pattern about it. And so I ask, I think, at this point in my life, having seen the movie probably more than you, and I don't mean you, Neo, I mean you, the listener. I've seen this movie more than you. I've seen it a lot of times, okay? I went to college for art history and filmmaking. So I took many film theory classes to interpret things on a socio-political level. I'm not a dummy, and I'm not a fool. What is Rob Zombie saying at the end of this movie? I want you to tell me. I want someone to actually fucking just say. I want someone to just tell me. Because my whole life, I've been like, I don't know how I feel about the end of this because semiotics. And people always go, you're thinking about it wrong. And I'm never corrected. I'm never told this is how you should be thinking about it. So I am now asking, officially, to the people that are out there that are kind of these weird they endorse the shit out of it in a weird way. What am I missing? What am I missing? What am I supposed to see in this? Now, that's not to say that I don't like the movie. I do like the movie. Mm-hmm. I think that House of Thousand Corpses has a lot more fun with itself. Mm-hmm. I think this one is dire, serious, rapey, mean, and hateful, caustic, and ultimately does have some pretty good points about state violence.
Right.
So if it has pretty good points about state violence that much, am I supposed to just go ahead and lay down and enjoy the shit out of it? Like, what am I supposed to do?
Well, but it's the same thing we've been talking about the last like 3 episodes.
The whole fucking season is about this.
Where
apparently.
It's like, if just because someone hates authority doesn't mean they hate it the way they should.
Right.
Where if you hate authority, it's like if you hate authority because it crushed the Confederacy,
yeah,
maybe you should reevaluate your prejudices and learn some history. Like learn what the Confederacy was about, because let me tell you,
it's like the conflation of that. It's like the conflation of I hate cops with I obviously that then am Southern pride, good old boy. I'm my daddy. I got my belt buckle.
right.
You know what I mean? It's like, what the fuck?
Well,
where did we turn? How did we turn left and turn into dumbass rebel motherfuckers?
Right.
Out in the middle of this.
Well, and it's like, for me, it's I think there's, I think a lot of like Southern culture has tremendous problems with it, but I think there's also there's an element of it where it's like if someone needs help, you help them. If your neighbor needs something, you help your neighbor, because that's just, you got to be
Southern
neighborly.
anarchy.
Like, and so I think there's this Southern anarchy. There's this element of Southern anarchy that's good, where it's like,
well, and I think that's the thing we're responding to the movie that we love is the Southern anarchy.
Well, but the problem is, and the problem where this movie is trying to like put the Southern anarchy to Otis is Otis and gang are as far from the admirable Southern anarchy as you can get. Where like the Southern anarchy you actually like want to see in society is the like, no matter who someone is, you need to respect them because they're human, and this like humility and this like like no matter what if someone is being genuine, you need to help them. And I think, and I think to a degree, like a lot of that aspect of Southern anarchy is being purposely weeded out by media, by not representing it as like, just wholesome cowboys, and instead like trying to conflate it with like trying to interpret it through like Otis and like murderous gun-toting John Wayne motherfuckers, right? It's and so you lose the core of the like,
so they can't portray it in a way that isn't dumb and cowboy.
Right. Well, and so there's
a dumb individualism to it.
It's like if you think of like the oldest westerns, right?
Right.
Like all the protagonists of like the really old westerns are ultimately just like kind of wholesome dudes, right? And they get in gunfights with criminals, but like they're always helping their neighbors, and that's what it's all about. And
it's a reinvention of chivalry in a lot of ways,
right? And as like the genre developed, it just kind of got more and more and more into the lost cause, yeehaw, violent, like a man's the measure of a man is his capability to do violence. Where in like a lot of I don't know, it's like older movies, it's much more, it's like the quality of the cowboy is based on his chivalry instead of his like violence.
Yeah, well, and I think that's what we like.
And so and I'm not trying to be an apologist of like the Southern anarchy cowboy culture, but I will say that there are some good aspects, and it sucks that the few good aspects are being intentionally like burned out by media and like right-wing grifters to try to eradicate any aspect of that.
Well,
from the like culture, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and it's like when liberals on Twitter will say on the day of like a fucking massive bad news thing in Texas, it's like, well, they're threatening Texans with a bathroom bill, right? Mm-hmm. Well, there will be liberals, and not just liberals, but I mean other marginalized people as well, that will tweet shit like, well, what are you doing living in fucking Texas?
Mm-hmm.
If you live there, you deserve it.
Right.
And that's bullshit.
Well, and like,
because most of the people here don't deserve it and are genuinely trying to do right by their fellow people.
Right. And like the Texas I love is the other day we were at Starbucks, and we're walking at Starbucks, and this dude in jeans, cowboy boots, a plaid shirt, and a cowboy hat opens the door, and so all three of us who are like who just look like their view of like shitty fucking liberals that or like the right wing.
Yeah, I have blue. We all have blue hair and pronouns.
Yeah,
like
so and this guy opens the door, and as each one of us walk out, he goes, howdy.
Howdy. And you're just
day.
like, damn, what a fucking the homie,
Yeah.
And you're just like, I wish that the whole world was like that.
Yeah.
But the it's like God nerfed cowboys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like God nerfed cowboys because they had to make them, do a lot of white people shit, be hateful fucks at the end of the day, and they don't need to be hateful fucks. A good cowboy loves anybody, and
right.
He give
and
you the shirt off his back.
See, ultimately, I think the problem is the gentrification of cowboyism,
of the American cowboy.
Because if you look at it, like historically, like a lot of cowboys were
marginalized people,
marginalized people, like black people,
Native Americans,
Native Americans, Mexicans, people who the white people like didn't want around them. So that's why they had jobs being cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
And and at the core of it, it's always this like the like cowboy culture was ultimately like this countercultural thing to like this like white hegemony as whiteness like expanded west. And so I don't know, it just got co-opted by shitty fucking like douchebag yuppies from the city who just want to use that as an excuse to be shitty to other people.
Well, and this is all represented in the film House of a Thousand Corpses when Captain Spaulding pulls his arm out and it's got his fist and he's got a tattoo of John Wayne and he goes, "Wrestle up the wagons, pilgrim."
Right.
And you're like, there it is. It's like all of it. So when I say that this movie is complex in an ugly kind of way,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I mean. Where it's
Right.
like, it's difficult to spit out the seeds, but you have to do it with a lot of stuff. Cindy, you have to spit out the seeds with this, and that kind of makes it a shitty affair when it doesn't need to be a shitty affair. It needs to be pleasant. And by pleasant, I mean I like an intellectually stimulating movie, and I like a movie that's like, hello, challenging material. I mean, listen, my YouTube channel is primarily devoted to watching gore porn. So understand that I am this nuance. But I think that Rob Zombie is he's kind of like a B student, right? In horror movie class, he's a B student. Eli Roth is like an F student, right?
Yeah.
Hate him. He's a troublemaker. Everything he turns in is just dog shit, and he's just making fun of the project. So it's like, go fuck yourself, Eli. I'm never gonna give you any help, and I'm never gonna give you any support. But Rob Zombie is a B-level student,
Right.
where he's like, he's trying, he's applied himself, but there's a few things that he just can't seem to like
Get.
and because of that, I'm endeared to him. Like, I almost like that it's kind of flawed because I want him to improve and change and grow. And I can't say the same about Eli. Every time Eli Roth has a new movie out, I groan. Every time Rob Zombie has a new movie out, I go, Even though I know I'm not going to like it. The day the 31 trailer dropped, I was like, this is going to suck. Click play on the trailer, and I went, and then I saw the movie, and it sucked.
Right.
And it's just, there it is. You know what I mean? It's like, he is a good dude somewhere at his core, and I want to help.
Yeah.
I want to be in his corner, and that's why I have been in his corner historically throughout the years. But I also go back and forth on him, and I also think that a lot of the things that he says is kind of not good.
Right.
When he's trying to say something that is good. So, with that, I'm going to take the Devil's Rejects from its echelon, from its place, pull it down, and I will look upon it once again in my little hand, and I will attempt a free throw. And I hope there's enough weight. Yeah, to Freebird. I hope there's enough weight in this.
Wait, no, that's the wrong song. Fuck.
I'm free as a bird now, yeah. So I'm gonna throw this thing, and I hope it lands in the gold pile, but it's gotta weigh enough. And so I don't actually know, but I don't think it's going in the shit pile. I just don't know if it's gonna land in the pile. It's gonna land on the outskirts of the pile.
I would put it in the gold pile.
So I'm gonna throw it. So close. And it's fine. It's gonna be right. It's gonna be almost there.
I'm gonna put it in the gold pile.
Yeah, just gently.
There's one element that's gonna push it into the gold pile that you're not thinking about.
Hating cops.
No. Ice cream.
Tutti fucking fruity.
Tutti fucking fruity. Tutti fucking fruity. We're not getting fucking ice cream. And then like jump cut to everyone like
having
eating ice cream.
Yeah, that was admittedly pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the rest of the film.
The Tutti fucking fruity scene had brought enough joy, whimsy, and mirth into the movie.
I wish there was more of that in his other films.
That it pushed it into the gold pile.
God.
It was on the fence, and then Tutti fucking fruity rolled up, push it into gold.
Big question for everybody. Are we gonna watch 3 from Hell? That's the next film, which, by the way,
perhaps
they survived the cop shooting, which completely
spoilers.
No, that's like the fucking premise.
Spoilers.
Like all right. Well, but it completely undermines the whole point of the Devil's Rejects if they fucking survive the cop shooting at the end. Anyway, it's fine, Rob. It's all right.
Don't worry about it.
I'm not upset with you.
Don't think
about
too hard.
I have seen the film. It was just shit.
All right. Well, don't spoil the next podcast on this podcast.
Are we gonna watch it?
Yeah, we are.
Right now? Okay.
Not right now. I have to edit.
Somebody commented last week that we didn't watch Death Wish like we said we were, and now I'm going to clarify. We do what we want, and we didn't want to.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we didn't want to.
Don't trust us on that one.
Yeah, we're. So when I say next week, we're probably gonna watch 3 from Hell. What I actually mean is next week we're going to watch whatever the fuck we can tolerate, but it might be 3 from Hell. I'd say there's a non-0% chance that it's 3 from Hell.
Unlike anything Eli Roth put his gross, slimy, sweaty, greasy hands on, I want to watch 3 from Hell. So it's probably going to happen. All right. And with that, we'll see y'all next week.
Yeah, we'll see y'all someday again. I mean, down the old trail, the dusty old trail. Hop on your old horse and go riding off to Freebird and go get shot by the cops. We didn't even talk about our fucking landlord sucking dick.
No, yeah. Post note. Fuck our landlord. I don't have the vulgarity in my vocabulary to describe how much I hate
landlord right now.
Our fucking like worm ass motherfucking spineless
landlord,
rat ass motherfucking landlords. God damn, I'm angry.
Yeah, I mean, this whole podcast was fueled by rage.
Yeah, we had a good hour-long rant about how much we hate our landlords, and then we hopped on. Yeah. We contained our unbridled rage.
And with that
post note,
good night.
See y'all next week. I'm
and
gonna
good luck.
Fight my landlord in the street.
Yeah, we're gonna go get him. Bye.